If you're always going around talking about how you don't like hanging with women, you would rather hang with men, you don't get along with women, I'm just going to think that you're the problem and we're just not going to click. Hey girl, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Trinity. If you're new here, today we're going to be discussing something that I'm so excited to talk about. As you can see by the title, today we're going to be discussing the journey from girl to woman. Specifically, life hacks that take you from girl to woman. Now, if you're not new here, you've probably already seen my video on how to be more feminine, how to radiate feminine energy. I actually have two parts to that video, and the first one is actually one of my best performing videos on my channel, so I'm sure you've already seen it, and if you have not, I'll link it down below. And I know what you're thinking, another video about how to be more feminine? No, this one is different. These are more like mindset shifts, like mindset things, character traits, personality traits, stuff like that. Now, before y'all even ask, this top is from Zara. It will be linked down below in the description box. The necklace is from Amazon. The bracelets are from Shein. The watch is JBW, David Yurman. And the earrings are H&M, I believe. If I can find the links to all the jewelry, then I will link them down below as well. Disclaimer, I had an eczema flare up right here, so that's what this little darkness is on my arm. Not too much, okay? Oh, let me not go any further without thanking y'all so much for 90K. I'm actually at like 92K, I think, today. So we rolling. The ball is rolling, okay? We're so close to 100K. I'm gonna be doing a giveaway. I'm probably gonna cry when I reach 100K. Like the feeling I got from just hitting 90. So thank y'all so much. Had to get that out the way. Now, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, especially if you love content on personal development, self-development, becoming your best self, all that good stuff, because that is my specialty. And let's get right into it. Today's video is sponsored by Skillshare. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives. They offer thousands of classes led by industry experts across film, photography, and illustration, just to name a few. They also offer classes on finance, personal development, and productivity, which are all essential on your growth from girl to woman. If you're not new here, then you know that I have been actively trying to create structure and routine in my life in order to be more productive and organized. So I'm currently taking a course by Ali Abdal on Skillshare on how to organize your workflow to maximize productivity, and chef's kiss, okay? He's actually a fellow YouTuber with over 5 million subscribers, so I knew it would be a good one. If you're on the hunt for a new hobby to experience this summer or in general, Skillshare offers plenty of classes for us to deep dive into things like photography, graphic design, cooking, and even starting and growing a YouTube channel. As you journey to and through womanhood, it's so important to spend time pouring into yourself, because as women, we spend so much time pouring into everyone else around us. So I want to encourage you to invest in yourself by starting a learning journey on Skillshare to not only explore your creativity, but also find new passions. Now, the first 500 people to click the link in my description box will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So if you're ready to become this new version of you, click the link below and start your free trial with Skillshare today. My first tip is to value girl time. I've always loved my friends and just loved hanging out with my friends, hanging out with my family, my female family members. But as I've grown and matured into a woman, girl time has really shot up my priority list. Like, it's very, very high on the list. I have to spend time with my friends. Like, it has to be penciled in. I love talking to my mom on the phone. I love picking her brain. I love picking women's brains, period. I love the community of women that I'm building here on YouTube and even on Instagram. Because as a woman, girl time is just so important. Like, you can love your husband to death. You can love your boyfriend to death. But there's nothing like having a tribe of women. There's some things that a man is just not going to understand. And me personally, like, as a grown woman now, I do not trust no woman who does not trust other women. If you're always going around talking about how you don't like hanging with women, you would rather hang with men, you don't get along with women, I'm just going to think that you're the problem and we're just not going to click. Because every woman needs her tribe, and maybe that's just a maturity thing, I don't know. Like the other day, I spent basically my whole entire Saturday with my friends. One of my close friends, her grandmother passed away, and me and my other friends went to the funeral that morning. We went to the cemetery, we went to the repast. I ended up leaving the repast and going to my boyfriend's family cookout, and I left there early because I wanted to go back with my friends at her mother-in-law's house. Like, that was a time for us to really be there for my one friend who was experiencing loss, but it was also a time for us to really just get to spend time with each other, because I feel like we always have these like small little spurts of time. I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. Like I was talking to my nail tech yesterday and we were talking about like how important adult friendships really are. It's so different when you build relationships and friendships with women in your adult years, because you have different things in common, you have different things to talk about. And I was telling her how I spent the whole day with my friends last weekend and I did not want to leave them. Like I went home feeling so fulfilled and just so, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's different when you get older. Like when you're a mom and when you're a wife, like I have friends who are married, most of my friends have kids. We gotta get away from these men and these kids, and we're like each other's safe space. Now, my second tip is to not allow your life to revolve around someone else. This is kind of a two-part tip. And the second part of it is to spend time alone. Both of these things will help you tremendously to be a more well-rounded woman and to just be a more mature woman, I feel like. When I was younger in relationships, I used to want to spend all of my free time with my boyfriend or whoever I was dating. Like I wanted to live in that man's skin. If he was going to go chill with his friends, I wanted to go. If he was running errands, I wanted to go. If he was going to work, I wanted to go. Like I wanted to be everywhere he was at every moment. I was very codependent and I didn't value my own time. I had no boundaries. I was always just trying to be with him. But as I got older and I started spending time alone, especially when I went through this single season where I was very intentional about learning to love myself and enjoy my own company, I started to value my time more. And I also just became actually an easier person to be in a relationship with, because I realized now that I was smothering my partners back then. Now, like I said, I went through this period a few years ago where I was going through a breakup and I wanted to intentionally spend more time with myself and learn to enjoy my own company. But I feel like I really started to enjoy my own company when I became a mom. I love my son to death. Like he is everything to me, but the girl, we need a break sometimes, okay? I need time to myself. I need time away from him. I need time away from his father. I need time away from everybody. My alone time is so important to me. And so funny because I was talking to someone yesterday and they were telling me that they're starting to feel like they're probably not meant to be in a relationship. Like they're just meant to be single forever because they have this new feeling of wanting alone time very often. And I was explaining to her that that's not a bad thing. It's actually a sign of maturity. You know you're maturing when you don't want to spend every waking hour and second with your significant other or anybody for that matter. You know you're maturing. You know you love yourself and value your time and love your own company when you have days where you're like, I just want to sit in the house and chill by myself, watch TV, read a book, cook me a nice meal, drink some wine, take a bath, chill. But going back to that initial time where I decided that I needed to become comfortable being in my own company, I was dating myself. I was journaling a whole lot, just trying to figure out who I was, what I liked, what I wanted, what I didn't want. But it was so important for me to stop allowing my life to revolve around a man. Like when I was in a relationship years ago, if my friends ever asked me to go out, I will always be checking with my boyfriend, like, do you have plans tonight? If he had plans, then I would be going out with my friends. If he was gonna be in a house, I was gonna be in a house too. And like I said, that's just not healthy. And you don't want to be using your friends. Like you shouldn't just be going out having a good time when your significant other is going out having a good time, or if y'all are beefing. No, like not only should you be spending time by yourself, but you should also be doing things for yourself. Get cute sometimes just for you, not because you want to impress your man or find a man. Get dressed up just because. Put some makeup on, do your hair real nice, put on a cute little outfit, put on some perfume. I actually started really getting into body care products around that time when I was trying to love myself more and learn myself. And now I'm a body care product junkie. Like anyone who knows me knows that I'm a sucker for some body care products and I'm gonna spend whatever on them. My next tip is to stop being so easily impressed. When I think about the difference between who I was as a girl and who I am as a woman, that's one of the things that come to mind. I was so easily impressed way back when. Like there were so many trivial things that I cared about back then that I just do not care about now. For example, when you're a young girl, you're easily impressed by all the superficial things and material things that a man might have. He might have a little bit of money, he might have a nice car, he might dress nice, and that will just give you all the feels. But as a grown woman, some of that stuff don't even matter. Like, yeah, of course I want you to match my fly, but if you're not the best dressed person in the world, I don't even care at this point. Like, I'm not impressed by somebody flashing a whole bunch of money. I'm not impressed by somebody driving a nice fancy car, because there are other things that are higher priority than that. Like, what's your character like? Do you have morals? Do you have integrity? Are you disciplined? What do you do on a day-to-day basis? What do you do for fun? Do you smoke all day long? Are you always high? Are you always drinking? Do you be getting pissy drunk? Like, those are things that I care about now as a woman. You also can't let a bunch of words impress you, because people will talk your head off. They will talk all day long, but what those actions looking like? Are the actions lining up with the words? And as a woman who's not easily impressed, I'm not always trying to impress everyone around me. That's the second part to that. I'm not trying to impress people on social media. I'm not trying to portray this lifestyle that I don't actually have. I'm not interested in showing up as who I think people will like, who I think people will want. I'm more interested in just showing up as my authentic self. And if you take it, you take it. If you leave it, you leave it. My next tip is to learn how to regulate your emotions. You gotta be emotionally intelligent. Now, what exactly does emotional intelligence look like? Okay, first thing that comes to mind is not posting little subliminals on social media. Like, we're grown. When I used to beef with my boyfriend years ago, I used to be quick to post a little meme or a text post on my story or on my page so that he could feel some type of way, or so that I could just seem so strong and independent and like I don't need him. When really I wasn't doing anything but letting people in my business. Now I can go through things all day long, all week long. I won't post a single thing about it, because who cares? Like, let's be real. All these people following you on social media, they don't care. And when you post little subliminals, when you beefing with your boyfriend or your friends, whoever, you know you're just doing that for their attention. And only people who are not emotionally intelligent have to constantly seek attention from other people. Communicate. Tell them how you feel. Leave if you're gonna leave. That's another thing. Stop being so crazy. When I was younger, I would yell to the top of my lungs. I would argue with my boyfriend all day long. We would scream at each other, cuss at each other, and you don't do that as a grown, mature woman who has emotional intelligence. When you know how to regulate your emotions, you don't let somebody take you from 0 to 10 real quick. I don't let people take me to 10 at all, to be honest. But I'm not DMing no woman about a man. I'm not going through no man's phone. I'm not doing no pop-ups. I'm not fighting nobody over you. I'm not having screaming matches. I'm not even going to cuss at you. Me and my current boyfriend, we don't argue. I don't think he's ever raised his voice at me in the 9 years that I've known him. Because before I do all that stuff, I'm going to leave you alone. Like I said, I'm not posting no subliminals when we going through stuff. One of the best things I could have ever done is learn how to chill. Because I used to be up here, okay? My next tip is to be prepared for everything. This is one that I actually considered leaving out, because I feel like somebody's gonna be listening to this and be like, girl, what? But it's something that I have actively been working on, so I feel the need to share it. So one thing I've noticed about womanly women, like grown women, is that they're always prepared. Growing up, or even now, you can look around the room and know who you can ask for whatever it is you need at any given moment. Like, let's say you need a pen. You're probably not going to ask a man for a pen because he probably doesn't have one. There's probably a woman in the room who has a pen. There's a woman in the room who has some gum. There's a woman in the room who has maybe a sewing kit if you need your button sewn back on your dress or something. There's a woman in the room who has a safety pin. There's a woman in the room who has band-aids. There's a woman in the room who might have pads or tampons if you just happen to come on your cycle. This to me is just a part of womanhood. And I have been trying to become that person, because I noticed that I've always been the type of person who would only buy certain necessities when I needed them. Like, let's use cough syrup, for example. When I moved into my apartment, I did not buy like band-aids, cough syrup, cough medicine, Advil. I didn't buy that type of stuff just to buy it. Like when I was buying furniture or whatever. Y'all get what I'm saying? I would go buy me some Advil or leave Tylenol, whatever, when I had a headache, when I needed it. I would buy some cough medicine whenever I was sick. There were times where I came on my cycle, didn't have a pad with me, didn't have a tampon with me. Oh, let me also add that I was the type of girl who would buy like one roll of toilet paper or 1 roll of paper towels, I wouldn't have that stuff stocked in the house. So I talked to my friend and I was asking her, like, what are some things that you feel like are essentials in our home? And she literally sent me a text full of stuff, like a whole list of stuff. She was like, you need to be stocked on paper towels, toilet paper, you need rubbing alcohol, band-aids. I'm trying to remember what else she said. Keep some toothpaste stocked so that you're not always running back and forth to the store whenever you run out. Bars of soap and body wash, bottles of water, batteries, Tylenol, Advil, cough medicine, like all those things. Extra pads, extra tampons, stuff that I was just winging it with, like stuff that I would just go to the store and buy when I needed it. I actually went to the store yesterday. I went to Target and I went to the travel section and I picked up a bunch of stuff just to leave in my car. I put a few pads in there, I put a few tampons, I put a small hand lotion, some mouthwash, Advil, I believe, hand sanitizer, Kleenex, wet ones, Clorox wipes. I don't remember what else, but y'all get the gist of it. And I just leave that in my car. It's actually in my trunk because it's way too hot outside to leave it in any other part of the car. Oh, I actually have an extra deodorant in the car. That's what I meant to add. Little stuff like that. You don't want to have to be asking around whenever you need stuff. And you don't have to carry a big bag for a lot of this stuff. Like, I'm not a big bag girl. I'm a small bag, most of the time crossbody girl. So I can't fit that much stuff in my bag, but everything I need will always be on me. My last tip is to be self-aware. You have to learn self-awareness because everyone else is not always the problem. Sometimes you're the problem, but you won't ever see that if you're sitting in victim mentality and you're always pointing the finger at everyone else. No matter what you've been through in life, I don't care how bad it was, it has affected you in some type of way where you have become a problem to someone else. So sit down, analyze your past traumas, figure out how they've affected you, figure out who you've become as a result of what has happened to you, figure out where you have gone wrong in your relationships and your friendships, and do what you gotta do to become a better person. One of my favorite things about myself is my self-awareness. And I feel like I've been like that for a really long time because I'm constantly trying to become better. And the only way you can become better is if you realize and admit that you have something that you need to fix. And I think therapy played a big part in it. Like, I definitely would recommend therapy for anyone who has not tried it. And even if you have tried it and it didn't really work out the way you wanted it to, I definitely recommend that you try it again because therapy changed my life. I have not done it in maybe like a year, honestly. Yeah, but I'm not gonna say I don't feel like I need it because I think everyone should do it whether they need it or not. But I've reached a point where I was able to make decisions without consulting my therapist. Like, at one point I had to talk to her before I made any decision because I was scared that I was making the wrong decision. I didn't really trust myself. And that was one of my goals. One of my goals was to learn how to trust myself again. Because after going through, relationship stuff and just life stuff, I felt like I didn't know how to make decisions. So I had to regain that trust and just start doing things on my own without asking a bunch of people for their opinions. And a bunch of people included my therapist. So I took a break from that for a while, but I definitely want to get back on it. And I suggest that you do the same because no matter how self-aware you think you are, there's always something that a therapist can teach you. For the longest time, I didn't want to do therapy because I felt like there was nothing a therapist could tell me or teach me. And lo and behold, I was wrong because that woman showed me a lot about myself that I did not know. I can always admit when there's something that I could have done better. And I think that's what a lot of people are missing in their lives. Like, you got to be able to admit that you are the problem sometimes. And you have to know yourself before you try to bring other people into your lives because people will definitely try to tell you who you are when they know that you don't know who you are. I'm not going to preach too much on that subject. I'm sorry if I had to cut this short too soon. If y'all want a part 2, let me know. But I got to bring this to a close. I got to go get my baby. And in my defense, I did film 2 other videos today and this is the last one. So that's why it's so late. But as always, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Said you to me